My name is Calvin Sun. I am a ER doctor based in New York City, working per diem at the majority of the hospital systems in New York. Front lines of COVID since last year hasn't stopped, and I also run a travel blog turned community called the MonsoonDiaries, where I take people traveling around the world up until the pandemic.
Tell me, what was it like working at the front line this past year?
Unforgiving, exhausting, and I'm still in it. You could just tell from my face and my body language that it's not over yet.
So what does it mean to you? Obviously you're serving cities, and then we have racism happening against people who look like you. How do you react to that? How do you feel about that?
I mean, how do you react to something that you grew up with as if it was like mosquitoes in a jungle all your life? This is not new. I was last year, 9 years ago, giving a speech at a rally for the same reasons. 9 years ago. Here I am again. What's changed? We're getting attention. Does it happen in waves, or is it a perpetual momentum that we can capitalize on, that we can finally work together again? Not for the first time, again, because we've been through this before. In the 60s and 70s, we created progress, but then we forgot about everything, because we rested on our laurels, and now we're reigniting that momentum. Hopefully this is just one day and the beginning of many other days carrying forward.
Does this feel different for you, this movement?
I'll believe it when I see it. Does it feel different? That's what I said 9 years ago. Yeah, sure, it feels different. Every year feels different. Every opportunity feels different. We always do things differently. But what truly matters is if actually things happen differently 9 years, 10 years from now. We'll check back when we're doing this again in 9 years. Hopefully not.
What do people need to know about racism against Asian Americans that perhaps they don't think about?
When it's racism against Asian Americans, that's racism against a subgroup, but it's a problem emblematic of a racism against the entire intersection of oppressed minority groups that's been happening since the founding of this country. That's the point of basically focusing on one group and another group and another group in silo instead of actually working together. It gets to a point where when you have racism against one group perpetuated by another group, people start fighting each other, one another, and that's the point. That's what they want us to do. They want us to take debate so they maintain their power. And we're constantly fighting each other. Oh, they never did that. Oh, they never stood up for that. That's what they want us to do so that they maintain their power. So when you think about racism, don't just think about in the immediate emotional context, which is important. Don't just do that. Also consider the larger system that is at fault, where they weaponize injustice, they justify injustice. They give a reason for injustice to be institutionalized, so they maintain our dividedness, so that we never work together, so they maintain their power. And if you give in to the emotions at hand of what happened, oh, this group did this to us, that group did this to us, you're just giving in to what the actual problem wants us to do. It's divide and conquer. They did it in India with the British colonies. They did it to us with the American Revolution. We didn't take the bait then, and that's how we got victory. But at the same time, right now, it's just emblematic of a bigger problem at hand that's been existing long before any of us were around.
So Asians need to stand in solidarity with other...
They stood in solidarity for us. We need to stand in solidarity for them. If you don't quite remember, read a history book, do your due diligence. The reason why we have all these rights here today was in support of our black brothers and sisters in the 1960s. We stood in support of them, they supported us, and then somehow we forgot all of it since then. And now we're fighting against one another. That's the point. That is how the oppressor, the status quo, maintains its power. How they fight back, to have our groups forget what we had done before and start fighting each other so they maintain their power. I'm going to repeat this over and over so people get it. It's like, don't give in. Don't let the terrorists win.